In reality, what happened was we went from end racism to reverse racism.
The only reason we're talking about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, it's not because of the triple doubles, but it's the controversy that fuels all this.
Let's be genuinely honest about what's going on right now. Because if you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe to say whatever you want. Or
another investigation, issue another statement that condemns racism, that will say there is no space for hate, that they have a zero tolerance policy for bigotry. It's all about the policies and what they stand for. Because we saw that last week with Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, and the investigation that I guess continues with potentially fans that were saying something derogatory, a slur towards either Angel Reese or one of her teammates, which we haven't seen the results of yet. But now it's about their silence when it comes to the reverse of this with Brittney Griner and what she was saying towards Caitlin Clark.
Hutton, here I thought that we successfully ended racism with the big plan by all the leagues to put in racism and end zones and on jerseys and everywhere else. But in reality, what happened was we went from end racism to reverse racism. And that's what we're seeing right now across the WNBA. The latest example is Brittney Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlin Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash ass white girls. Here's a novel concept, okay? And I know this may be hard for some to follow, but hopefully a lot of people understand this. I don't like identity or racial politics. I also want everyone to be comfortable and proud of their own race and feel like it's okay to be that race and not feel ashamed while in the workplace. That should be something that's common across America. Wherever you go to work, I want people to feel comfortable in their own skin. I want people to feel comfortable being their race and being proud of that. That's not reality in the WNBA. Let's be genuinely honest about what's going on right now. Because if you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe to say whatever you want or do what you want without fear of repercussion and without fear of being hated or mocked. And we've seen Angel Reese mock Caitlin Clark for being white. Now we've seen Brittney Griner mock Caitlin Clark for being white. What does Caitlin Clark do in response? She bends the knee. Every chance she gets, she talks about her privilege. She shows shame at times, I believe, for being white. Paige Beckers is the same way. If you are a straight white girl in the WNBA and you're not ashamed of it, the league will make you try to feel ashamed of it. And it's getting old, and it's getting tired to see. And Hutton, to go in line with what you said about this supposed investigation by the league into fan behavior in Indiana, let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also. I'm not one to get offended by a lot. It's very difficult to offend me. But let's not have a double standard when it comes to this stuff. Let's say what it is. This is racism on the other side. And Caitlin Clark is facing it. Paige Beckers likely will face it at some point. And it continues on, and not much is being done or said about it by the league. But Hutton, you're right. They're quick to put out a statement condemning racism when they believe white fans are being racist.
Yeah, the allegations that we've still not seen proof of in a day and age where everyone has a phone and you would see it in real time. You would see this play out in real time, and here we are a week later still waiting to see the results of said investigation. Just last September, Brittney Griner is discussing new fans in the WNBA. Now, let me get it right. The W, Chad. The question that she's going to hear is, hey, now that you're back in the W, what do you think about these new fans? What do you think about the growth that the league has seen? It had to be a layup and a positive answer, right?
How do you feel about what has happened over the past year with the W since you first came in to where it is now, and obviously the game has grown and there's new fans, but how do you appreciate the new fans without all the noise that's coming?
I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and and the people that I play against, because yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans. I think it's okay to do that.
Yeah, I mean, just immediately going towards the racist fans.
Yeah.
As the first thought for Brittney Griner, and then she's on the bench after fouling out, and appearing to mouth to Caitlin Clark, calling her trash and an effing white girl after the foul out. And again, this is Riley Gaines who posted this, and you have Jamel Hill who comes back and says, "Oh, Riley, of course you're going down this lane because you have to find the words that you want her to say." I'm paraphrasing, and it says that no, instead it was effing whack call is what Jamel Hill wants you to believe that she said. That she doesn't say the word call.
No,
she says girl. And look, it's either to Clark or the white ref.
Shocking that Jamel Hill came to the defense of Brittney Griner. How dare you, Riley Gaines, say that she point out correctly that this is what she said.
The idea that it's a whack call is what you see from this is
and
ridiculous.
Brittney Griner's not even denying it.
No, I mean no.
She's caught on camera saying,
literally months later.
It's very clear what she's saying.
Yes. After saying, I'm not for the racist fans. Here she is, going after the race of Caitlin Clark. The double standard.
It's ridiculous. And look, I don't care that Brittney Griner's gay. I don't care that WNBA stars, that some of them are gay. I truly don't.
I don't think about it.
But it's just they've insulated themselves within the league, and it's such a protected club.
Right.
Like, even gay bars like when the straight white girls go with the gay guys to dance the club, right?
Well, because people go to the club.
This is a club, the W, Hutton. By the way, they don't want the association with the NBA because the NBA makes money, unlike the W. So let's get rid of the NBA. It's just the W.
Yeah.
They're so insulated and protected that anyone with any different thoughts other than their own, whoever, if they didn't vote for who they voted for, then GTFO.
Well,
if you don't believe everything I believe, GTFO. This was our club. This was our bar. And we're not letting anybody else in. I don't care if that means I'm going to make more money. I don't care if that means I'm going to get first-class tickets to games, to fly places.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. If it means Caitlin Clark is the star of the league, I don't care. That is the message they are sending to people who want to watch the WNBA.
Well, because they're allowed to, and the ratings continue to happen.
By the way, I'm fine continuing to not watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I
great. Yeah, you sent the message loud and clear. Not for me. Got it. All right, I'll continue watching other sports.
We'll get to this, but even the person that everyone tunes in for has bent the knee to what this has become across the league. Here is just last week, all over a take foul. Last Tuesday, Angel Reese saying that there's no place for racism in the WNBA.
Yeah, obviously there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA, our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
Okay, so they some follow-ups to that, and it was just like next question was the answer.
Well,
after all that.
I find it interesting. So there's no place in this league for that.
No place in the league for that. Like
not necessarily racism of any kind, just that.
Yeah,
if it's a white person being racist to a black person, there's no place in the league for that. But no one cares if someone's being racist towards Caitlin Clark or hates Caitlin Clark because she's a white girl.
Well, no one's calling out like the double standard here. Here's Angel Reese on TikTok, but more or less a scared white girl afraid to turn around and fight. This was on TikTok that she posted the day after everything went down over a take foul. That still remains up, by the way, on her account, at least for now. And if you ask a follow-up, it's next question. But But if it's in support of her, it's everything's the WNBA is doing the W is doing exactly what they should be doing.
The W. There's no place for that. But there is place for that. This. Put it back up there one more time, guys. There's place for this. We can call her out and bring up her race again. In the reverse of this, what happens to Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
If she posts this exact same thing,
reverse,
but calling out Angel Reese's race,
right?
Is she banned from the league? She's probably suspended for a year at least.
Pete Rose.
She's going to get blackballed. No one's going to sign her.
Reinstated upon death.
If that exactly. Hey, Caitlin Clark's now eligible for the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame now that she has died. It's ridiculous, the double standard. It's ridiculous, everybody talking out of both sides. Look, I'm not trying to paint Caitlin Clark as some scared victim here.
Right.
She can handle herself. She's okay. I'm not trying to victimize her in all of this. I'm simply saying if you're going to be against racism, let's go all in. Let's not dip our toes in the shallow end. Jump off the high dive. Head first. Let's be against racism of all kinds.
Well, hey.
That's what I want from every league. If you're going to take this stance, let's do it across the board.
This is an easy opportunity right here for the WNBA, Chad, because the association, they can easily here, without having to do much of an investigation, unlike the one we're still waiting on the results from Indiana. The investigation is already out there for you. We've seen it. And you can condemn that too. Like you can send a message with this that just puts all of this to rest. But, Chad, do they really want to? Because let's be honest here. The only reason we're talking about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, it's not because of the triple doubles. It's just not. I mean, she's already setting records that she's not chasing any longer. The all-time scoring record in college, that was something to behold. Do we really watch the records fall the WNBA? No. She's a great player. But it's the controversy that fuels all this. And without Angel Reese, there's not the 2.7 million or whatever it is tuning in to watch them play. Unfortunately, we're not going to see them face off the next time they tip off, the Sky and the Fever, because she's injured. But there's a harsh reality coming with the injury. Now, it's just a 2-week deal, but without her, there is no controversy. And even with her, she's trying not to play the controversial card. Like, not even staying silent, where she, makes the cover of Time Magazine, Athlete of the Year, and more or less feels the need to, sorry I won this award, guys, because I'm white, is more or less what she was saying.
Yeah, let me get up here and apologize for my privilege.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I'm having so much
success. I won this award because of privilege. Like, even she's playing into the perception that the league has of her and her fans.
It's just, and it's so stupid. It's also so over the top. And even like the apology tour of white players, it gets, if I were a black player, I'd even think, oh, just shut up with it already. The talk about privilege and, I'm here because of all the hard work of all the African-American women that came before me in this league. And I'm thinking to myself, the league has never turned a profit.
The league,
it was never successful.
The league isn't where it is right now.
You are hyping up a bunch of women who never made the league successful.
Well,
you are turning the league into a success. Now, granted, you're right. Angel Reese has a part of it.
Well,
and that rivalry is important to the league. But, come on. You're not walking into the NBA of the 90s and thanking everyone for the huge salaries you're getting because they made it popular. That's the NBA players of today. But they owe a debt of gratitude to all those players. You don't owe a debt of gratitude to all the women that came before you that did not turn this league into a success.
But the problem is, in their bubble, Angel Reese legitimately feels like she's owed an apology because she's not front and center.
Angel Reese legitimately feels like she can say whatever she wants.
But that she's doing what everyone else would do. They just didn't form this rivalry with her in college.
Well, and right? I think
they're doing a decent job of trying to. There's a handful of them that are doing a decent job of trying to catch on to what Angel Reese is doing and playing that role. But it's just, again, like you're tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark, but are you tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark play Dallas? Or are you tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark face off against Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky? Well, that's what pushes all this. And Brittney Griner also turns the twist the knife.
When she's going head to head with Caitlin Clark,
Sure.
it works for sure.
Oh, when she says something to Caitlin Clark.
They're about to get the exclusive club that they wanted before.
Well said.
So, congrats.
Well,
If she's hurt for longer than 2 weeks, if there's ever a serious injury with Caitlin Clark, the league is dead.
well, there's
no reason to ever talk about it. There's no reason. I mean, it's dead. So for all this talk about, and I also get mad about, and I feel Angel Reese honestly believes this, she can say anything because she's an African-American player in the league. She can say it. Caitlin Clark can't say it. No other players of any other race can say it. She can say what she wants. I just hate that mentality.
Well, but
let's just apply the same rules across the board. And I think everyone is going to be more fulfilled, happier. The league's going to be more open to more fans. Everyone's going to feel welcome in the arena. I don't think everyone feels welcome in a WNBA arena right now, quite frankly. If I'm Caitlin Clark, I don't feel welcome in a lot of WNBA arenas, or at least on the court. From the fans, yes, that are selling out arenas. But on the court, probably not feeling overly welcome.
Some of the play I see on the court is not welcome to giving my time towards. But like even Caitlin Clark.
And by the way, nightmare scenario if one of those hard fouls
or
anything happens and she gets injured and is out extended period of time, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but see, they've already won because they've got the private planes. They've got the money now through TV. But I mean, it's a footnote. It's the bottom line scrolling marquee final score. If you're paying attention because you're a gambler. Right? Like you're trying to win some money back on whatever you lost in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, like, Megyn Kelly sees what Caitlin Clark did, and in turn, she gets the Time magazine cover, and then she says, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. She goes on to say, the more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talking about the players that came before her, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players and that have made this league incredible. I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. Megyn Kelly sees this and calls it condescending and fake and transparent and sad. And then Caitlin Clark doubles down in a response and says, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age, saying that I saw what came before me. The problem is, Chad, none of the women in the WNBA seem to care that she feels this way. It's the perception of her that they hate, not whatever she's thinking or feeling. The fans are what they hate.
Right, exactly. I've said it throughout. I really don't think that there's anything to hate about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
If you're a player personally, because she says stuff like what you just read.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous and over the top, but whatever.
Right.
She's bending the knee. She's appeasing the mob in the WNBA.
Right.
And she's doing, right down the party line of everything they want to hear, she's saying it. So she's not saying anything to piss off the players. The players in the league hate what they feel she represents. And what they feel she represents is racism, MAGA, white, straight, patriarchy, whatever you want to call it. That's what Caitlin Clark is to the majority
Bible
of the
Belt.
WNBA. Yeah, not everyone.
Well, Indiana.
I don't want a blanket statement. I'm sure there's some nuance there.
If Caitlin Clark played for New York, I don't think the perception would be the same as Caitlin Clark playing for the Indiana Fever.
I still think, though, that people that suddenly would be watching the games, their thought would be, "Oh, now you're watching."
Oh, that would be.
I
that
wonder
would be true.
why.
That would be true.
Yeah, that's what everybody's going to say, regardless.
So it's just Indiana Fever fans that shout derogatory and racist
Hutton, I don't
slurs?
think Indiana Fever fans are shouting it either.
That's my point.
I don't think anybody is. I think it's completely fabricated.
You would think in an arena.
I said it last week. If you're
packed,
dumb enough to go to a WNBA game and yell a racial slur, first off, don't do that anywhere. Second, you deserve to get your ass kicked.
And you're going to be called out immediately.
And you're going to get called out, and you're going to get escorted out by security, and you're likely to get your ass kicked.
Immediately.
So I think we would have heard about it and seen it,
And, Chad,
and there probably would be a police report from the ass kicking that person received.
Do you think that Angel Reese or any player that believes that someone said something to them that offensive would just wait until the post game to say something?
I don't think Angel Reese even called it out. I think somebody said something, and then she gets asked about it and says, "Oh, I'm against any of." I mean,
yeah, but she's acknowledging that the WNBA is doing what they should be doing. But it's like, okay, but no one heard it, but this one person who turned it. Like it's just so, like you said, it feels totally fabricated, and it's a deflection of whatever the story was going to be about a beatdown. And yet again, it happens with Indiana Fever fans. It's not I don't hear this about other fans. Brittney Griner, we played the quote from last year. She's not talking about the new fans of the W. She's talking about Indiana Fever fans without saying it, which is stupid.
A guy by the name of Herb Simon is the owner. Old Herb or Herb. Herb Simon is the owner of the Indiana Fever. And I get really tired of cowardice with owners in sports leagues.
Yes.
We discussed this on our Nashville radio show. Remember when the Titans, they had a group of officials that were punished and they were sent to call a Titans game?
Yeah, it was one official that was, yeah, you're right. He was disciplined that week. It was Titans Dolphins.
An official was disciplined.
Yes.
To go to the Titans Dolphins
game. Because he was so
game.
awful in a Sunday night football game the week prior.
And I feel my blood pressure raising right now. I'm going to be on statins by the end of the day. I feel my blood pressure raising because I'm thinking if I'm the owner of the Titans, I'm thinking, what in the literal
or the
hell?
Dolphins.
Yeah, you're going to punish. This guy sucked so bad that you pulled him off a late afternoon game in New York or Chicago or L.A., and you're going to send him to lowly little Nashville.
This was
to officiate a game. That if I am the owner of the team at the time, I'm saying that is total horseshit.
This was Dan Campbell.
And I'm not going to be treated like a second-class citizen. I'm one of 32.
Yeah, I mean, it's you punish the official, not the team, if he's that bad.
So let me connect the two here. Herb Simon.
Here he is.
Owner of the Indiana Fever. Herb, right here. Call the WNBA office and demand they put out the findings of their investigation.
With another statement.
You have stained my fan base and our reputation by saying that we're a bunch of redneck inbred racists. That we're doing, monkey calls at games when it's actually some annoying old lady who's screaming something that it sounds nothing like a monkey. No. You're saying that racial slurs are being said. Show us the evidence. We take that stuff seriously. Show us what you found. And if you didn't find anything, publicly say it.
I mean, we're going on a week now.
Absolve us.
We're going to
absolve our fan base of wrongdoing.
And we should know by now. This investigation, that has that just condemns all racism and bigotry. Of course, what do we say? AI, ChatGPT can write that statement.
It's so
for literally anything on the planet.
It's so absurd. We need to try to get Herb Simon on the show. Herbert Simon. Herbie, Herb.
Well, how do you feel about this?
Let's get him on the show so I can tell him this.
How do you feel about
Demand they at least show the findings of the investigation.
Herbert doesn't care because he won the lottery to get to draft Caitlin Clark.
And that's the other thing I'm saying is, hey, my team is driving revenue for the league and driving ratings.
Oh, yeah.
And you continue to put out statement after statement about looking into things, and then you don't follow up and tell us what you found. Yeah. If you didn't find anything, you need to say that.
No one's asking, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Instead, you have Nancy Armour, for the USA Today columnist, saying, going back to the cover story for Caitlin Clark with Time Magazine, leads off with, it's been a bad couple of days for the racists and bigots who thought Caitlin Clark was one of them. Going to Caitlin Clark bending the knee. That's the coverage here. They're pampering to those like Brittney Griner. Instead of actually what the truth is in all this. They're not looking at it from both sides of this. Meanwhile,
be careful what you wish for.
Meanwhile,
if you're a player in that league, if you're the league itself, be careful what you wish for.
How do you feel about the sweater with the tie and jacket?
On Herb?
Yeah. See, this makes I see this and I feel uncomfortable.
It looks
makes
very
me
hot. Yeah, it looks very hot. Unless you're doing something outside.
Yeah.
If you're on a studio setup and you're at Lambeau Field and it's a playoff game and you want to wear this, I'm good with it. Maybe with some matching gloves.
Yeah.
Maybe a nice hat.
Yeah.
Maybe a parka.
He looks like a very shrewd negotiator, that Herb.
Yeah. Herb looks like a guy who could get on the phone and really ream somebody.
Yeah.
He needs to get on the phone with the WNBA and say, hey, so where's the investigation? Where are we on that?
Yeah.
Because you have besmirched my entire city and my team and our fan base for doing nothing more than selling out games and giving you TV ratings.
It's exactly what the perception is. It's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about her fans. Because if it was about Caitlin Clark, I could just read a quote where she's bending the knee weeks ago.
And if you're Herb, you say, look, if you find the person who did this or said something, I will personally call them. And I will banish them from the arena.
Banned.
And they will not be able to buy tickets ever again. And I will make a statement about it.
Banned from
the NBA
as well.
But if you don't find anything, I want you issuing a statement immediately. I want you issuing a statement 3 days ago.
Yeah, what? Absolutely. The day of. I mean,
I want to rep these WNBA owners.
I mean,
I just want to be their agent and call the league and demand different things.
You better believe.
I demand a follow-up statement. My client.
This is my client.
Herbert Simon.
You better believe. Like this is like
a man of integrity.
Yahoo Sports doing the investigations for the NCAA back in the day. This is like the media would be doing the investigation for the WNBA with this. We would have it. You know, this would be like Chiefsaholic.
My client, Herb Simon.
My client.
Who founded the Simon Property Group and who entered the league in 2000 with the expansion of the Indiana Fever. He has never, ever stood for anything other than integrity and what is right for the Simon Property Group and the WNBA and the Indiana Fever.
He has no space for hate.
He demands that you release the findings of your investigation into racism by Indiana Fever fans.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Time to close the investigation.
There's my letter. Get, gosh, I'm blanking on it now. Central Michigan. Get Central Michigan on the horn, too. Let's close those findings.
Yeah. Can we hear their results of whether or not
was Connor Stallions there or not?
The NCAA has said yes.
The Simon Property Group, demand answers.
It's still open.
Herb Simon demands answers.
Still can't tell. They still can't. Connor Stallions says it wasn't him. Never said it
Incredible.
Was him. Or wasn't him. Wouldn't confirm. So we can't close this investigation.
Herb Simon, by the way, also owns the Pacers. So he's busy in the playoffs right now.
Oh, he's very successful. Coming up, speaking of SEC, Big Ten, ACC, Big 12, they are going back and forth right now over the fact of what's good for the game. Who's mentioning this phrase, what's good for the game? The hint here is they don't really care about that. But they want us to pick a side on who's choosing what's good for the game. That's next.